Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the Common Sense Crypto channel. As with you always, this is Rich doing another video today on XRP. So I hope you're all having a wonderful day today, wherever you are in this great world. We're going to talk about XRP. And I got to start with this from Smoke, Airbnb, and XRP. Documented. You know, all these documents came out a while back, but they're so relevant today. Everything that we ever thought was going to happen for XRP is now happening in real time. It's really amazing to watch all of this play out. You know, the next big thing is going to be XRP, massive pools of it locked away for on-demand liquidity and for cross-border payments. And that's going to lead to scarcity. So far, XRP holders have been right all along. Ripple CEO Brad Garlinghouse drops a bombshell. This is what's going to lead to mass adoption. Take a listen.
Here in Singapore, I believe you get paid once a month. In the United States, you get paid once every 2 weeks. Has everybody thought about why you get paid once a month or once every 2 weeks? It comes down to the friction of payments. And if we can remove the friction of payments, why can't you get paid every day? Or even more crazily, why don't you get paid every hour or every second? You could have a stream of value showing up in your whatever repository of value. Now, why you need to get paid every second, I'm not sure. But I do think there's a lot of dynamics that have been built around getting paid every 2 weeks or getting paid every month. And as we remove the friction of payments and make that dramatically easier, I think you're going to see secondary and tertiary effects that are very difficult to predict, just like we couldn't have predicted Grab 20 years ago.
And that is what's going to lead to mass adoption, because everybody wants instant gratification now. People don't want to wait 2 weeks to get paid. They don't want to wait a month to get paid. Most people don't even want to wait a week to get paid. They want to get paid daily. And that's what is coming. And you already see the transition happening. Charles Schwab to launch Bitcoin trading directly targeting Coinbase users. Like I said, you're going to see banks replacing the exchanges. That's what they all want to do. JP Morgan would love to become a crypto exchange. Same thing with Goldman Sachs. And we're going to see that happen over time as well. Me personally, I am never, ever allowing the bank to keep my keys to my crypto. That's just never going to happen. But as they're doing this, they're going to bring the masses into crypto, because as the banks want to stay competitive going forward, they're going to open up crypto options for their customers. They're going to want to custody their customers' crypto. They're going to become very crypto friendly. And I think that's going to bring more people in the door at the bank. But because we're in crypto for such a long period of time, we all know better. It's better to custody your own crypto, not your keys, not your crypto. ECB accelerates digital euro preparation work. Like I've been telling you this entire time, they are going to continue to accelerate the timeline, and they are rushing to get the digital euro out. Here in the United States, the digital dollar is most likely going to go live by the end of this year. You see them fast tracking it right now. You even have Sachs at the White House talking about a digital dollar already. The timeline is speeding up. And it's going to continue to speed up. That's why 2030 is no longer the year. Most likely, the next 24 months are going to be very transformative. In other words, we're going to see innovation push ahead, but we're also going to see the acceleration of the digital age. IMF XRP bridge currency. Now, in a video, I talked about how XRP will eventually be moving SDRs, ESDRs. But even back then, they were also showing these mappings as well. And this is what XRP is built to do. It's built to bridge anything of value. So imagine RLEUR, RLJPY, and in the middle is XRP. So EUR into XRP comes out as JPY or BRL or anything else that you want it to come out of, come out as on the other side. And it could work with stablecoins. It could work with fiat. It can work with CBDC. That's why I always told you you're holding the future when you hold XRP. XRP backed by gold. You will see lots of media articles and posts saying that XRP will soon be backed by gold. This is partially true, as real-world collateralization is coming to the XRP ledger, and this will include gold and more. XRP is not going to be backed by 1 ounce of gold. However, XRP is going to be moving multiple ounces of gold, tokenized gold, gold-backed currencies. It's going to be moving anything of value, and it's going to be valued so much higher than gold. That's why I always said you don't want XRP backed by gold. It will go much higher. This comes from Smoke. Ripple's Antoinette O'Gorman presented to the IMF on cybersecurity and the XRP ledger. Ripple is the only company that monitors and reports suspicious activity on the blockchain. And that's what they want. That's what banks will want. Central banks will love the idea of that. They want to make sure if there's any suspicious activity, they are notified. But this is why Ripple was always aligned with the IMF, the BIS, the ECB, the Fed, and so on. And remember this famous video of Brad Garlinghouse talking about the IMF holding XRP? Take a listen.
You want to take one? Go for it. The first one's for you. IMF. Do you see IMF holding crypto assets in the future? I did not put that up there.
Remember, I'm from the legal department. I'm supposed to be very conservative about these things. I don't want to go into great details about
Maybe
the
I
IMF.
should take what the IMF is going to do. I think we stunned Ross into silence with that one.
For that to happen, okay, under the current legal framework, some country would have to use a crypto asset as its current.
He says some country will have to use it as its currency. But that shifted because now they look at XRP as something that can move an SDR. People always thought XRP would become an ESDR. I think it's going to be bridging SDRs, and that's going to get XRP to a very high price very quick. But this is another part of that same clip. Take a listen.
We are engaging very closely with the private sector and the industry, and last year put in place a high-level advisory group of industry leaders from the private and public sectors to help guide us in our work on fintech. I'm very happy to say that Chris Larson, one of the co-founders of Ripple, and Supnendo Mohante from the Monetary Authority of Singapore are both part of that group, and we're very grateful for the advice that they give us.
And that's how you know eventually XRP will be the bridge for SDRs. There's your 4-digit XRP. Remember, Ripple was selected to serve on the IMF's high-level advisory group on fintech, but it goes beyond that. They were also chosen for Federal Reserve faster payments, Bank of England accelerator program, Saudi Arabian Monetary Authority. Look at what's going on with Saudi Arabia now. Now they're bringing tokenized real estate and land deeds to the XRP ledger. Everything that we've seen in the past is coming together right now in real time. This is how you get to that high-valued XRP. Remember, David Schwartz also told us it can't be dirt cheap. That doesn't make any sense. If XRP cost $1, they'd need 1 million XRP, which would cost $1 million. If XRP cost $1 million, They need one XRP, which would again cost $1 million. Except that higher prices make payments cheaper. That's why XRP has to be at a higher price. And then he goes on to create the scenario of buying a house with Bitcoins. But this was meant to happen years ago. And now it's playing out in real time. In other words, they were warning you back then to pack your bags with XRP. Now time is running out. AI and blockchain are already disrupting legacy education system. Everything's going to change around education as well. AI and blockchain is coming together in real time as well. It's the fourth and fifth industrial revolutions colliding with each other. But it's not just going to be education. It's going to be the entire financial system. You're going to have AI running the digital financial system. Blockchain is going to keep everything fully transparent. Certain cryptocurrencies are going to emerge as the money movers, like XRP, XLM, XDC, and so on. Because everything needs a bridge. The US and China, they don't trust each other. So they're going to need a bridge in between, a trust layer like XRP. You see how it's all playing out now. That's why everything we've seen in the past, and people talked about it back then, and most people that couldn't see beyond the time frame of holding XRP for more than a year, right away, they could not see how big this would eventually get. But here we are now in 2025, and you're seeing it now. You know, there was a time when I first bought XRP, and I thought to myself, if all of this plays out, I'm going to get very rich at some point in the future. The future is now. It's happening already. You know, wait until those banks decide to come out of the testing phase. There is a very good chance, like an overnight event, like a flip of the switch moment, XRP goes high 3 digits, maybe $700, $800, $900 per XRP. Then the IMF starts utilizing XRP for their SDRs. Now, all of a sudden, XRP jumps up another $1,000 in price. Then, all of a sudden, it's moving central bank digital currencies as well, and gold-backed stable coins all around the world. Then you add in tokenized assets, you add in derivatives. All of a sudden, the price of XRP going to $10,000 is not so far-fetched anymore. That's why I always said, when people talk about a $5,000 XRP, a $10,000 XRP, I don't deny that that can happen because I see everything playing out in real time. There was a time where I said, most likely this is a decade away, but not anymore. I watched the timeline accelerate as well. I always thought it's going to take until 2030 until anything relevant starts to happen. But now it's already happening. What I'm telling you is this. If you think you're early, I would agree with you because the institutions aren't here yet. But the institutions are now on their way. Some are already here. So mass adoption is most likely only 24 months away. That's when it will begin. I think we will see full-on mass adoption within the next 36 months. And who knows what the price of XRP is going to be at that time. I would guess that it's already 4 digits plus. Then you start to look at cashless societies happening, and that's going to come as well. Oh, most likely we'll watch that play out in the EU before it ever happens in the United States. But I do believe it will most likely happen under the next administration in the US as well. But I always believed in parallel rails as well. In other words, you're going to have people on universal basic income, and they're going to be tied to CBDC or the government stablecoin, whatever it may be. And that's how they're going to be transacting. But then there's going to be an alternative rail for people holding the machine money, the AI money, crypto money. And those people will be transacting on parallel rails where their transactions are not being tracked. You're going to emerge as the richest people in the world, is what I'm telling you, just by holding this cryptocurrency, by putting this cryptocurrency to work for you instead of selling it way too soon. If you sell all your XRP in this run, you are selling way too soon. The real excitement is going to happen. It's going to coincide with this run, is what I think is going to play out. So we have alt season, people expecting major dips, and who knows, maybe we do get a quick major dip down, and people will be saying, I was right, you should have sold your whole bag, only to watch utility kick in shortly after. Then all of a sudden, XRP recovers very quick and goes on to the really high price points. That's the thing that worries me the most. We're too close now, is what I'm saying. But like I always tell you, until it happens, stay patient, stay excited, and let's get rich together. With that said, I'm going to wrap up this video. I want to thank you all for watching. I appreciate all of you. I'll see you in the next one. Have a great night.